Hello again, this is Ron Lowenberg from Randy Keel Honda. So this one is about the 2018, 2019, and 2020 Honda Accord Sport. Again, I say 18, 19, and 20 because, as I said in the Accord LX video, they're essentially identical from 18 to 19 to 20. About all that changed is the price went up slightly. All still built in the same manufacturer. They all still get about the same fuel economy. The only reason fuel economy might change is because EPA testing might change. But that doesn't mean your actual mileage may vary. It's just you're going to get what you're going to get out of this car. With that being said, I very consistently see above average and above EPA rated mileage from my customers that have these cars. So as I said, this is an Accord Sport. The Accord Sport gets really nice looking 19-inch wheels compared to the 17-inch alloys that are on the LX, which I really like these wheels, and actually I've seen a lot of people keep these wheels on them even after they're modified. You also get a dark chrome front nose, and I guess the easiest way for me to show you what it looks like otherwise is if I walk to the front of this LX here, and you can see the chrome looks a little different on the LX compared to another Still Night Sport that we have right there. So I'm going to walk back over to the car that I have pulled out. You also get LED fog lights underneath, as you can see right there. A little bit different rear end treatment as well. You get this little lip spoiler on the back, which I think looks really nice, a sport badge, and dual exhaust outlets. Every Accord has dual exhaust outlets. The Sport and the Tourings are both exposed dual exhaust outlets. One thing I like too, all Accords have a capless fuel filler system. It might seem like an awfully lazy feature, but trust me, once you have it, you're going to really like it. Moving to the inside, the Sport gets a 12-way powered driver's seat, leather trimmed bolsters with a cloth insert. I really like the way these seats look, by the way, and a slightly different trim finisher on the inside than the LX and any other Accord trim. Hopping in, you get a leather steering wheel, which I love leather steering wheels, and you get the bigger touchscreen. So this is one reason a lot of my customers end up going with a Sport over a Accord LX. So this bigger touchscreen, as you can see, looks a lot nicer than the LX's. It also has a touchscreen, obviously. Honda Link Assist, which is something I really like, which Honda Link Assist, what that's going to do for you is if you ever get into a car accident in this vehicle where it deploys airbags and you have a phone hooked up via Bluetooth, the car is going to automatically call 911 through your cell phone. One thing I like, especially people who are coming from domestic brands, they ask, well, how much does that cost, because they're familiar with GM's OnStar. The automatic emergency notification is 100% free for a lifetime of the car. You never have to pay for it, which I really like that Honda did that, and that was a really good feature for them to do. The Accord Sports also get little paddle shifters up here, which the irony of a paddle shifted CVT, I'm sure, is lost on no one at Honda. But I really don't like CVTs, and Honda makes the best one on the market because it doesn't feel like a CVT. Same story as the Accord Sport, or the Accord LX, you have a little USB port up here. On the Accord Sport, however, it is a USB port that also works for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and that's what the little cell phone icon means on it. Down here you also have an extra button that the Accord LX does not have. If you hit it, it says Sport. What it does is it makes your little edges of your dashboard, it makes them red. That's how you know you're driving fast. And if you go to tachometer, this is one of my favorite features on the Sport or the Touring Accords. They both have those Sport buttons. But on the Sports and the Tourings, it adds that little gauge on the right where your tachometer is. So if I hit the button again, you can see it go away. So you're probably thinking, well, what is that gauge? It's a boost pressure gauge, which is really cool to have on a stock vehicle that's meant to be a family vehicle. So what it's measuring is bar of boost. So it goes 0, 0.5, 1, and 1.5. And each bar of boost is 14.7 psi because that's 1 atmosphere, and that's what bar represents. So if you rev it at all, you can see in park, it doesn't do anything. If I get into drive, that little bar gauge will start to move as you give it throttle. You can see it getting a little bit of boost right there because I was getting up to a little bit of speed. So now that I'm at the other end of the lot, because I moved the car all the way up here, you can see that the Accord Sport is very similar to what is in the Accord LX, except you get a couple extra niceties that I really like. One nice thing is too, the Accord Sport is the last Honda Accord that you can still get with a manual transmission. That's right, you don't have to get a CVT. You can get a 6-speed manual. And it's the exact same 6-speed manual, albeit with a little bit different ratios and a little bit different clutch. That's in the Civic Type R. So what's neat about it too is not only can you get a 6-speed manual in these cars, you don't have to get the same 1.5 liter 4-cylinder that's in the normal Accords. You can get the 2-liter 4-cylinder, which is, again, I know I'm talking about a 2-liter 4-cylinder and acting like you should be excited about it. It's a very similar engine to what's in the Type R. The cams, the pistons, and the feeling is a little different along with the turbo. Other than that, though, they're very similar, and people can make very good power out of them. So also, if you get an Accord Sport, you can also still opt for an automatic if you get the more powerful engine. But what you also get with that more powerful engine, if you get an automatic, is a 10-speed automatic built by Honda. And that 10-speed is fantastic. It snaps off shifts, gives you great fuel economy, and it does not hunt for gears at all. It's just a fantastic driving transmission. So I'm going to head back up here. I'm a little disjointed in this video, but you can see just everything up here works a lot nicer than Honda touchscreens of yore. So from trip computer to smartphone connection, which the smartphone connection is your, how would I describe it, the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. If you plug in an Apple phone, it's going to show up Apple CarPlay. If you plug in an Android phone, it's going to show up Android Auto. So this is just a really, really nice head unit, and it would be the thing that would immediately make me buy a Sport this color on the outside, because in my opinion, this is the best color Honda makes. I know it's a little hard to see because it's dirty, but you guys saw it when the video was a little earlier. And I said this video wasn't going to be nearly as long. Well, I lied to you, apparently, because it's 6 minutes and 30 seconds long. And now I just feel like I'm about to get done. So, on to the EX.